Alright, so this is going to be a recording explaining the new side B swings. I'd like to say it'll be short and simple, but the move is, I mean, it's the most complicated thing about the character. It has a lot of changes, so I will try, but yeah, I guess we'll get into it. So the first swing is pretty standard. Obviously, there's no variation here. You just start with it. It can be pretty safe at max range, and in general, you can use this move at max range and still get good value out of it. So, you can use this to poke, like on people's shields, and then stagger the hits and stuff like that. But as for actually comboing with it, if you have no idea what you're doing, I would suggest doing side, up, side. That is the most standard bread and butter. And even at low percents, you can actually get all of these to connect. Granted, the third hit forward has a good amount of knockback, so you'll notice that, you know, once the opponent starts to rack up some percent, they are sent much too far away to be able to do anything. Which is probably the first place that you'll notice it's different from Ultimate side B, because with Ultimate, you basically just do the first 3 swings in whatever direction you want, and then it'll always combo into your finisher. However, since all of these swings have different utility, you will change what you're doing based on things like your opponent's percent, how they're DIing, what you want from the move, etc. So just to give a brief summary of what all the swings do, this is the first swing, and then on the second variation, he can go up or go side. This is technically a 50-50, but going into the counterplay on this is probably a little too much for now. If you don't know what you're doing, like I said, side, up, side is your bread and butter. As for the third swings, so this is a meteor for the first couple active frames, but then once he is, I'd say around this point or so, definitely here, the move actually sends out. So based on how you time it, you'll either get the meteor part in the beginning, or it will hit the opponent outward. So you'll get the meteor there, but might be a little hard to replicate training mode. The outwards hit. Yeah. Trust me when I say it's there. You'll experience it. And then the third hit forward has a good amount of knockback, so you'll often see this move kill, and it'll usually end at this point in the string if it's on hit. If you're trying to link into the final hits, you're probably going to want to do this meteor, because the idea is if they miss their tech or tech in place, you do the upward version. If they tech out, you do the forward one. And if they tech behind you, that's the most obvious application of the reverse swing. And then as for the downwards hits, the downward hits are multi-hits that are usually meant for racking up damage. So, as we can see there, I think that does 14%, and then this does 18. There are other reasons to use it too, like if the opponent is shielding, this actually can be somewhat safe on block. It's not safe in a number sense, but he does pull back after the move, and it does a decent amount of shield damage. Same with this final one here, although they're more committal and niche. And then yeah, so the final fourth swings, they are typically kills. So other than this one here, which is, you know, the multi-hit that isn't really going to kill, the fourth up and the fourth forward are kill moves. And like I mentioned earlier, you'll realistically combo into them off of this meteor. The opponent obviously can tech, but the cancel window on this third hit up is pretty generous. See how much I can stagger it? So that way you have a good amount of time to react to whatever tech option your opponent does. Unfortunately, I cannot get Mr. Richter here to actually tech for me. Maybe if I change his behavior. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how I would actually get him to tech, unfortunately, but you get the idea. You knock them into the ground, and then you can stagger this and wait to see which option they pick, and then try to react and, you know, either cover tech in place, tech roll forward, or tech roll back. There are lots and lots of other cases for these moves, such as the third hit down is actually a pretty cheeky landing option. It's relatively active and big, so you can, you know, do stuff like that. The air movement that he had on the old side B is still there too, so be reversing this swing. It's all the same stuff, really. And yeah, I guess that's really about it. So all in all, don't know what you're doing, just do this. And yeah, that's... Oh, I guess one other thing. Well, let's see, I don't have the CPU able to... You know, I can't really control him very well on Yuzu. I'd have to be doing this on console. But you can CC and shield the first 2 hits. So at higher levels of play, if your opponent knows how to play against the side B, you really want to make sure they're in the air before you start doing it, because if you try to do this to people that are on the ground, you know, there are reasons to, and it'll come up, but high-level players will CC the first 2 hits and then shield. So if you can get them in the air first, so something like this, or, you know, whoops. You know, you want them to be in the air, because once they're in the air, I mean, they have SDI and they have DI, obviously, but they can't CC shield the first couple hits. So yeah, that's about it. I guess if anybody has any questions, I could try to make another video. But yeah, that's Roy's side B in a nutshell. Is don't know what you're doing, just do this.